Nikki Haley is picking up more campaign cash and support in the race for the Republican presidential nomination. Some donors who previously have backed South Carolina Senator Tim Scott are now shifting to Haley after his exit from the race this week. Meanwhile, billionaire hedge fund CEO Ken Griffin, who gave millions to Ron DeSantis for his campaigns for Florida governor, told Bloomberg TV this week he is, quote, actively contemplating backing Haley. A new poll by CNN and the University of New Hampshire released yesterday shows Donald Trump with a commanding lead in the state at 42%, but Haley the clear second choice at 20 percentage points, 6 points higher than Chris Christie. So, Joe, Nikki Haley has had a couple of good debates, particularly that last one with just 5 of them on the stage. She certainly shined. I guess the question is, does any of it matter given the margins Donald Trump has?
I mean, 42% matters. And it matters in the fact that, imagine Barack Obama was running to be Democratic nominee even this year in an open field. Would he be getting 42%? No, he'd be getting 85, 90%. There's still a lot of doubt in the Republican Party about Donald Trump. And Nikki Haley at 20% is pretty good. I will say, if a donor, and I'm sure you'd be the same with me, if a donor said they were actively contemplating supporting me and I was sitting across the table, I'd do this.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I do.
I'll be here. Yep. Yeah, I'm not good. You keep actively just write the check.
Write the check.
But I think they're going that way. I mean,
look,
with Chris Christie or DeSantis out of the race, this race suddenly becomes a 10-point.
But they haven't. And here's the thing: you drop out in an environment like this, Joe. The politics dictates, in my view. You drop out, you endorse.
Right.
So you drop, you Tim Scott, you drop out, you say, I'm dropping out and I'm supporting Nikki.
Right.
Or I'm dropping out and I'm supporting Christie. You cannot, in this campaign with Donald Trump at 42% in New Hampshire and much more in other jurisdictions and locations, you cannot hedge your bets with the donors, the political actors. You have to be precise and you have to be very clear. It's the only way you whittle this thing down.
Right.
This wants it to set itself up to be a Trump-Haley battle. But you still have men on the stage who won't give that air and let it breathe. You have donors who won't let it breathe. Actively contemplating is not actively doing. And so the reality of it is none of this matters until they make it matter.
Right.
It's nice headlines and it looks good. She's sitting at 20%. But at the end of the day, Donald Trump still's the nominee of the party until they prove otherwise, and they're not proving otherwise.
Here is my question about the Republican Party. All the polls show that she does better against Biden than Trump does.
Easy.
All the polls.
Easy, yeah.
All of them. She's done very well in those debates. She's done something that's very hard for women candidates to do. She's put down Ramaswamy in a way that's very cutting but amusing. She doesn't offend people, right?
Right.
So what is with your party that they don't see this? Trump is going to be facing 4 trials next year in the middle of the campaign.
They don't care about that. What they care about is what Trump wants, what Trump's doing. That's their avatar. That's where they feel their retribution comes. He is the one who's going to make it right the way they want it. Nikki Haley doesn't do that. In their view, Nikki Haley, yes, she was in the administration, but she's not all the way Trump. Right? Chris Christie certainly is not. So the reality for a lot of his supporters is, why would I go with light when I've got the real deal?
Even if light might beat the president.
But this is not. But this
purism over practicality.
It's purism over practicality. But at the core of it, and this is something that clearly has been reported. They genuinely believe this time next year, Donald Trump will be getting ready to go back to the White House.
They keep losing. And they keep losing with Donald Trump, and they've lost every year since 2017 consecutively. Let's bring in Sam Stein, White House editor for Politico.
Thank you.
And they keep losing, and so losing with Donald Trump for some, better than winning with somebody else. But Nikki Haley does clearly outshine Donald Trump in the general election. I will say, though, sitting at 20%, rising up from what, maybe 7, 6, 7, 8% a couple months ago. And being there in November, I'd take that any day of the week.
Yeah, there's a path here, right? Like, it wasn't visible a couple weeks ago,
Right.
but you can see it starting to form. I don't think it's a particularly great path, but it's there. And if you add up the 3 non-Trump candidates, 20, 14, 9, that's 43%. Trump's at 42%. Now, it doesn't work that way, right? It's not like every vote who moves on from Ron DeSantis is going to back Nikki Haley. They'll probably back Donald Trump. But there is a path. Now, I will say the electability argument, that's a powerful one, but obviously Republican voters don't buy it.
don't care.
And you mentioned the trials.
Wait.
Yeah.
They're telling pollsters they don't care.
Right. Maybe they
I'm
do
just
in the
telling
voting
you.
booth. Maybe
I got a lot of family members and friends that were all in for Trump in 16 and 20 who loathe him now.
Right.
I'm not so sure they'd admit that to a pollster calling him up.
Yeah, that might be the case. I've thought about that too, whether these polls kind of overstate things for him. I will say what we were able to report on the trials, which I think actually plays into this a little bit here, is it's not that they're just ignoring the trials. The trials are actively helping Trump in the primary. Primary voters rally around him because they think he's being targeted by his political opponents, and they feel empathy for him. We know this because the Club for Growth, a conservative group that was opposed to Trump.
Please don't call them a conservative
Sorry,
group.
a group.
They used to be
A
formerly conservative group that used to worry about balancing the budget and debt.
For the purposes of this conversation, a group that was opposed to Trump, their allied PAC ran focus group ads going after him on his legal troubles. And the most fascinating thing was they all backfired. 4 of the ads they put together, 3 of them actually increased support for Trump. The 4th one just kept things normal. And that's why you see none of these other primary candidates using Trump's trials against him in the course of this primary. It is just not touched because it actually works to Trump's
Because he has successfully made those trials about them. He has successfully transferred his victimhood to
But polls show, at least our polls show, that if he's convicted, that changes things.
Oh, yeah.
That changes things considerably.
And then but you're talking about the general electorate. I'm talking about the primary, where the actual process of
The Republicans have a very high bar for turning on Trump. Okay, if he's only indicted for stealing nuclear secrets from the United States of America, we're good with that. He's convicted, maybe. So